Ohio High School Athletic Association proudly presents another championship event. Your network sponsors are John Deere and your local John Deere dealer. And DeKalb Pfizer Genetics and the more than 500 DeKalb Pfizer Genetics dealers supplying Ohio farmers with a full line of quality seed products.
To you. Welcome to the University of Dayton Arena in Dayton, Ohio, and our third championship game of the day. It's the Ohio AA boys final game in basketball between the Greenon Knights and the Oberlin Indians. I'm Andy McWilliams, and with me, Jimmy Crum. And Jimmy, between these two teams, only one loss all year long.
I think, Andy, these may be the two most evenly matched teams that we've had all day long. Oberlin has lost only one game, as you say. That came in their fourth game of the season against Wellington, 66-63. Since that time, they have won 23 straight. Greenon has won 27 straight, so two winning streaks long, and they know how to win. They like to win. Something has to give.
Greenon has the tallest player in this tournament, 6'9½", Troy McCracken.
Fred Taylor, when he was coaching Ohio State, used to say, when you're 6'9", you should get 12 points and 10 rebounds just for pulling on your socks. And at 6'9", he can be a dominant figure. But he sprained his ankle in the regional final, bunged it up just a little bit last night. We'll have to see how strong he is because their whole attack revolves around him.
Oberlin, a very balanced team, 16 players in double figures, but last night Rodney Cannon led the way.
Rodney Cannon is a 200-pounder. He doesn't look that heavy. He's 6'2", but he carries his weight very well. At 200 pounds, 6'2", he had 22 points and 6 rebounds last night. Honorable mention All-Ohio. He's the big gun for them.
Should be a good one, this AA final between Greenon and Oberlin. And we'll be back to talk with the two coaches involved, and we'll return in just a moment.
Matchmaker Dating Service is doing things together, sharing and exploring. Interesting, warm, romantic, giving and keeping. Matchmaker Dating Service is being together, meeting new people, going new places, doing new things. Matchmaker Dating Service is fun. It's your way of finding someone very, very special, just for you. Matchmaker International. In the Dayton-Springfield area, call 268-7200 or the number nearest you for an appointment or information. Matchmaker.
There's never been a crisp like this. It's crispy, crispy wheats and raisins.
Taste the delicious honey-touched raisin cereal with the crispiest, crunchiest flakes around.
There's never been a crisp like this. It's crispy wheats and raisins.
Coach Lyle Faulkner of Greenon, you are undefeated. What is the pressure when you come into a state tournament game undefeated in 27 straight games?
Well, there's a lot of pressure in a state tournament game. I have to give you that. We've just been trying to do it one game at a time and not worry about it. And I think the guys have done a very good job with that.
McCracken was in last night's ball game with the ankle he injured in the regional final. Apparently had a little damage to it again last night. How is he tonight?
I don't think he hurt it too bad last night. He stepped on a foot again, but he's definitely not going to be 100% tonight. We just have to do the best we can, and hopefully everybody will pull together and help each other out.
What does it take tonight for you to go 28-0?
We're just going to have to play a very good ball game defensively and offensively. This is a very fine ball club we're playing against. They're quick and they're big and strong, and they shoot the ball well, and that's a pretty good combination.
Coach Lyle Faulkner, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Andy McWilliams is standing by with Oberlin coach Bob Walsh.
Bob, what about the strong points for your team? Why are you here in the championship game?
Well, I really think that our strong points are depth and balance. We've used 8 players this year, and we got a lot of balance: scoring, rebounding, assists, steals. It's a very balanced team. We can go to our bench at any time, and I think they're probably the two major keys.
Greenon, the only undefeated team left in the state of Ohio. What do you have to do to knock them off?
Well, I think we have to take away their fast transition game where they long ball down the court. I think we have to play solid defense, and I would say, break their press. And they are a very good team as far as balance goes, and they do things together well. They look like they've played together for a long time, so they're going to give us everything we want.
Bob, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Bob Walsh, head coach of the Oberlin Indians. We've got the starting lineups and the introductions coming up, and now this from John Deere and your local John Deere dealer.
A lot of people have found a John Deere riding mower slightly out of reach. But that's changed, because now you can get a brand new John Deere riding mower with full-length steel frame and 30-inch high-performance deck for the price of someone else's mower. In fact, when you see how affordable a John Deere rider is, you'll have to sit down. Nothing runs like a Deere.
I take care of Jethro here when he was a baby, and look how he turned out. Well, you can't win them all.
It's entertaining
I talked to him
and educational.
Jethro. Well, this is it. College of Judo and Karate. Most of it's for that fellow Occupant. I wish Mr. Occupant would show up someday.
Watch the Beverly Hillbillies weekdays at 5.
And Greenan really led all the way in that ball game, and they got a tremendous performance from Scott Ricketts last night with McCracken somewhat below par, and Oberlin had to overcome a third period deficit, and they came back strong in the final 2 minutes and defeated the defending AA champion Youngstown Rayen last night. So the semifinals have been completed, and we're ready to play for the final championship, Jimmy.
It was almost as Oberlin went to sleep in that third quarter last night. They led at the first quarter and at half by 10. Then they got outscored 26-13 in the third quarter, but came back to beat the defending champion Youngstown Rayen Ball Club 74-65. So they're 26-1. Greenan Knights 27-0. 801
high school basketball teams in the state of Ohio. Only one is undefeated, and that is the Greenan Knights at 27-0.
Thomas Gruber and David Marsh, the officials for tonight's AA championship game.
Just about ready to meet the players who will perform in this final of 3 championship games. Akron Central Howard won the AAA this morning. Columbus Worley won the Class A this afternoon. And now this evening, the Greenan Knights and the Oberlin Indians go for the AA title in the state of Ohio.
And Andy, as we kick off this AA championship game, let me be the first to wish you a happy 37th birthday. A little bird just dropped by and told me that this was your birthday.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. I appreciate it. Let's go to John Keefe, the PA announcer, to meet the players.
And now the introduction of the team members in alternating fashion. For Greenan, number 10, Kevin Taylor. For Oberlin, number 12, John Tolbert. For Greenan, number 14, Chris Randall. For Oberlin, number 40, David Payne. For the Knights, number 20, Rob Goodwin. For the Indians, number 30, Ian Yarber. For Greenan, number 30, Brian Moore. For Oberlin, number 10, Troy Hill. For Greenan, number 40, Brian Miller. For Oberlin, number 50, Tad Cannon. For the Knights, number 34, Tony Farley. For the Indians, number 34, Philip Payne. For Greenan, number 12, Jeff Raber. For Oberlin, number 24, Ray Ellington. Now, your starting lineups. Starting at guard for Greenan, number 22, 6'1" senior, Phil Scott. At guard for Oberlin, number 22, 6'3" senior, Danny Jones. At guard for Greenan, number 24, 6'1" senior, Steve Smith. At guard for Oberlin, number 32, 6'2" senior, Rodney Cannon. At center for the Knights, number 44, 6'9" senior, Troy McCracken. At center for the Indians, number 44, 6'6" senior, Kevin Steen. At forward for Greenan, number 32, 6'4" senior, Jim Thompson. At forward for Oberlin, number 20, 6'4" senior, Dion Yarber. And at forward for Greenan, number 42, 6'3" senior, Scott Ricketts. And at forward for Oberlin, number 42, 6'4" sophomore, Tim Shepard. Greenan coached by Lyle Faulkner, assisted by Ken Anderson and Alan Carnes. Oberlin coached by Bob Walsh, assisted by Ed Dahlnar, Carl Slaughter, Chuck Morgan, and Larry Thomas.
Just about ready to go in this AA final from UD Arena in Dayton. And Jimmy, this session is completely sold out, 13,260, and that's a tribute to the community of Enon, Ohio.
I think practically everybody in Enon is here tonight. There were 1,000 tickets left over. Enon asked for them, and I understand that within 2 or 3 hours, they were all gone. So they really have a turnout. They're only about 25 miles away from the UD Fieldhouse, and they are here en masse.
The Greenan Knights are from Enon, Ohio, just outside Springfield in Clark County, and the Oberlin Indians are from northern Ohio, Lorain County. The city of Oberlin, about 8,000 in population, of course, the site of Oberlin College. And only one loss between these two teams. Oberlin in the dark blue, and Greenan in their light uniform.
This is nothing new for Oberlin coach Bob Walsh. He guided Lorraine Clearview to the Class A title in 1974, and now he's back here fighting for the AA championship.
His counterpart, Lyle Faulkner, hasn't been around quite as long, but he's 47-3 in 2 years at Greenan, and Faulkner was the AA Coach of the Year in the state of Ohio. Troy McCracken will jump center. He did not jump center last night to start the game on that ouchie ankle. He'll go up against Kevin Steen as we get the AA final underway, and it's controlled by Oberlin. Dion Yarber in the corner. Here's Rodney Cannon, who had 22 last night. Loses it on the floor, but Steen is right there missing his shot. Here's McCracken on that outlet pass. Down the floor, Steve Smith. A quick two on that fast break, and the assist going to Troy McCracken.
Lyle Faulkner says one of their strengths this year is their quickness and their shooting. They showed it right there.
Here's Yarber from the left corner missing. Dion Yarber with the follow, won't go. Steen now shooting it up. Missing. Got a foul called here on McCracken as he tried to get on the defensive board. McCracken had foul trouble last night, and boy, Oberlin really pounding the offensive boards here.
McCracken last night with only 4 points, but he did have 11 rebounds, but he did get in foul trouble.
Here's Cannon pounding it right inside for Shepard, and the turnaround for the sophomore. Tim Shepard ties it at 2.
Shepard, for only a sophomore, is a very impressive ball player. A lot of court awareness.
32, Jim Thompson with the basketball. Going to the corner for Phil Scott. Long range, rims the hoop. Steen off with a rebound. Out for Dion Yarber. Yarber, one of their seniors, up the side of the floor for the sophomore Tim Shepard. Out top for Danny Jones. Now penetrating is Rodney
Cannon, and
he travels on the play. Trademark of this Greenan team is full court pressure the entire ball game. We saw it last night when they defeated Claymont by 10. This is Thompson on the move. Feeding for Scott, the good long-range shooter. Now Steve Smith into the lane, got airborne. Out for Phil Scott. Now Smith from the deep corner. McCracken inside, puts it up and in.
2 points for McCracken, his first 2 of the night. He'll be headed for the University of Dayton.
On the fast break down the floor come the Oberlin Indians. Now they back off against the man-to-man defense. Yarber from long range. Dion Yarber with the field goal.
Yarber with 10 points last night. Has a 12-point scoring average on the season.
Tied at 4, a hectic pace to start. Jim Thompson with a shot. Rebound coming off to Danny Jones. Outletting for Yarber on the right side for Shepard. Yarber now from the perimeter. He's a great streak shooter. And Yarber has his second straight field goal. It is 6-4 and Oberlin with their first lead in the ball game. Just underway in this AA final from Dayton. Here's Steve Smith with some fancy dribbling. On the wing now for Jim Thompson. Here is Ricketts. Scott Ricketts, nothing but net from 18 feet.
Ricketts had 21 last night.
On the break now, Oberlin beats him down the floor, and the dunk by the sophomore Tim Shepard. Oberlin out-quicking Greenan. Got that easy bucket. Here's Ricketts with a basketball. Beating in the corner for Steve Smith. Both teams playing man-to-man defense in the half court. It's 8-6 Oberlin. Smith losing the dribble. Out for Ricketts against Dion Yarber. Played about 3 minutes. Oberlin by 2. Ricketts now, foul line, that head fake of his, bang! Oh, what a tournament for Ricketts. That head fake and hesitation is his trademark. Now against the full court pressure, Oberlin threw the ball away, but it was touched by a Greenan player.
Did you see Scott Ricketts go on the floor that time to go after that ball?
Scott Ricketts, just a tremendous all-around player. He was a all-state player in soccer as Greenan went to the state finals in soccer. Here's Rodney Cannon. Off to McCracken, and he'll be fouled from behind by Danny Jones.
Danny Jones, number 22, suffered an injury last night when he was knocked to the deck. Had 8 stitches taken in his lip, loosened a tooth. He said before the game tonight that he is still just a little bit sore, but he was being very aggressive right there.
Heavy body work inside against McCracken. The foul called on Jones. Team fouls are even at 1 apiece. Against the pressure, Steve Smith up the floor. Little virtuoso dribbling for Phil Scott into the lane for McCracken, knocked away. Smith open in the corner, and he drills the jump shot from 18 feet.
4 points for Steve Smith. That's exactly what he had last night. 4 points and 6 rebounds.
Seesaw game, 10-8. Greenan up by a basket. Here is Rodney Cannon dishing off low, and the dunk by Kevin Steen. Boy, Cannon had a good shot from 14 feet, but he saw someone with a better shot in Steen along the baseline.
They've been an unselfish ball club like that all season long.
10-10 the score. Now they go low for McCracken on the right block. Head fake off the glass. Spins out. Thompson on the weak side. Ball on the floor. McCracken keeps it alive. Boy, Troy McCracken is having trouble with that ankle, but he's playing hard, and again, it's Ricketts. Scott Ricketts.
6 points for Ricketts now. It's a 10-12 ball game. Greenan leading by 2.
No team has had more than a 2-point lead. Oberlin breaking the press. In the corner, Kevin Steen. Quickly, they reverse the ball. To Shepard, to Cannon. Cannon heading. Oh, Cannon showing some great maneuverability, getting his first field goal.
Cannon last night had 22 against Youngstown Rayen.
Tied at 12. Steve Smith on the wing for Ricketts. Down low for McCracken. Out to Ricketts again. He'll shoot, and he'll miss this time. Ricketts with his own rebound. There's that head fake. Throws up an air ball, but he drew the foul beautifully. Scott Ricketts.
Watch it again.
Oberlin foul number 44, Steen.
Foul is against Kevin Steen. That is his first, the team's second. It's a shooting foul, so Ricketts will go to the line.
Scott Ricketts averaged 9 points and 4 rebounds in the regular season. He's played his best basketball in the tournament. Undefeated Greenan takes the lead at 13-12 as Ricketts now has 7 points.
Ricketts last night was 5 for 6 at the free throw line.
He had a great night across the board. 21 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. Greenan by 1. Greenan by 2. 14-12, the Greenan Knights over the Oberlin Indians. Little three-quarter court pressure. Danny Jones will dribble through a trap, take it right to the hole. Dish off for Shepard. Shepard missing. McCracken off with a rebound.
McCracken thus far not really showing any vulnerability.
Out on the break, Jim Thompson scoring the basket. Boy, Greenan really gets the ball down the floor now. Fast break the other way. Here's Steen in traffic, and he is fouled by Jim Thompson as he tried to power it up from the lane. Thompson's first. 2 team fouls aside with 2:36 left in the first quarter. Greenan on top 16-12. That's the first 4-point lead of the ball game. Greenan ahead, 16-12. Steen will try to cut that in 2 as he shoots twice. 3 points for Steen. He had 11 points, 7 rebounds. He was 7 for 8 from the foul line in last night's semifinal victory over Youngstown Rayon, the defending state AA champ. Second one won't go. Danny Jones right there with a stick back. No. McCracken off with a rebound. Boy, McCracken is a master of that outlet pass. Here's Ricketts. Deep water for Thompson. Now McCracken into the lane. Puts one up and hits it. Boy, McCracken has just forgotten about that ankle injury.
I think when you get into the state championship game, you do tend to forget those kind of things. Unless you're walking on crutches, the adrenaline is flowing.
4 for McCracken. Here's Rodney Cannon off the glass. Hits second field goal. Boy, the pace of this game has been tremendous. 18-15. Greenan by 3. High-scoring first quarter. Steve Smith cut off baseline. McCracken now will show us his outside touch, and he misses this one. Here's Rodney Cannon now bumping with Ricketts down the floor. Dishes off, and up went Steen, and he missed the dunk. And here's an outlet pass, but nobody home for Greenan. They tried to force it too quickly on the break, and right back come the Oberlin Indians. Rodney Cannon called for a charge as he went baseline.
First foul against Rodney Cannon, the 3rd team foul against Oberlin.
Cannon really had nowhere to go here. He was cut off big time. Look at that.
Now, when you get hit by Rodney Cannon, you know you've been hit by a cannon.
He is a big guy. Here's Thompson. Baseline to McCracken. Inside they go. Phil Scott is rejected. Out for Steve Smith. Now Ricketts, their bread and butter shooter. Jim Thompson, top of the circle, got it. A little bit outside Jim Thompson's normal range, but he made it go down, give him 4 points. And Greenan now with their longest lead at 20-15, up 5. Cannon against the press. Danny Jones left open. Back for him, no. Jones with his own rebound, puts it up, got it. Hard-working Danny Jones with his first field goal.
Jones certainly showing no ill effects from that injury he suffered last night.
His coach told us he took only 1 stitch, but we asked Danny before the game. He said, no, 8 stitches. McCracken on the right block. Power move, cut off. Flips it outside. Thompson trying to keep it in, but he stepped on the baseline. Greenan really takes good care of the ball. They don't turn it over much. And on the other side of the coin, they force a lot of turnovers with their constant pressure defense. Here's Cannon on the wing for Yarber. Danny Jones penetrates. He hits his...
4 points now for Danny Jones.
2 straight field goals for Jones to bring the Oberlin Indians within 1. They were down 5 at 20-15. This is Phil Scott. Had a big semifinal game. Out top for Ricketts. Ricketts, they play him outside, they play him inside. He's a very versatile player. High post McCracken. Facing up to the basket. He'll take it to the hole, but he travels. Troy McCracken.
7 seconds remaining in the first period. Greenan by 1 at 20-19.
Troy McCracken signed early in November with the University of Dayton. So if you're a Dayton Flyer fan, you'll see a lot of him. He hits it. There's a long throw down the length of the floor, but that won't count. So it's a hectic, super first period of basketball. Oberlin takes the lead at 21-20 after 1 quarter of this AA final, and now this from DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
Quarter as Oberlin takes a 21 to 20 lead. Oberlin hit 10 of 19 from the field, 52%. Greenan 9 of 16 for 56%. Greenan with 9 rebounds, Oberlin with 8. Greenan turned the ball over 3 times, 2 turnovers for Oberlin.
Greenan with the first possession, second quarter, they trailed by 1. They had a 5-point lead. Steve Smith, baseline, right between 2 Oberlin defenders. Steve Smith sticks it, and that gives him 3 field goals for 6 points. So back on top of the Greenan Knights, the only undefeated team out of 801 high schools in Ohio. And Danny Jones cracks that pivot foot, and he turns it over.
Danny had that disgusted look on his face. He knew he'd done it, but he'd hoped nobody had seen him do it.
5 rebounds in that first quarter for Troy McCracken of Greenan, along with 2 field goals. So that ankle, he's really sucking it up and playing on that ankle, playing very effectively. They have Phil Scott in a trap. He gets it off to Ricketts, who had 8 points for Greenan in the first quarter. They're going to call a charge on Scott Ricketts. That'll be his first foul.
That's his first, the third against the team.
Scott Ricketts had 8 points in the first quarter. Steve Smith now with 6 points for Greenan. On the other side of the coin, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oberlin Indians have 4. They're a very balanced scoring team. Danny Jones swings it out high for Steen. Now to Yarber. Yarber, long range. He gets another one.
Yarber now with 6 points.
Boy, he throws him up from long range.
From anywhere.
Dial long distance for him. Here's Ricketts outside. He'll drive baseline. He slips through. He shoots. Misses. Still alive. And Oberlin comes out with it. 3-on-2 on the fast break. Rodney Cannon will pull up. He hits.
Rodney Cannon now with 6 points, and we continue to have a shootout. Oberlin leading by 3.
25-22, the Oberlin Indians on top. They trailed by 5 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and they went on a 6-point run. Here's Steve Smith backing in, missing the shot. Oberlin controlling the boards ahead for Rodney Cannon moving in, and Cannon has his second straight field goal.
8 points for Cannon, and Oberlin goes up by 5, and Greenan wants to talk it over.
27-22, Oberlin by 5, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Better Sleep Waterbeds is having a blockbuster sale. Right now, you can save up to 50% at all 3 Better Sleep superstores. 485 East Kemper across from Sears Tri-County, Florence Plaza off Mall Road next to Marshall's, and Cross Point Center at Route 48 and Alex Bell Road in Centerville.
We could have fun just going around and around.
Now you can watch 45 TV 24 hours a day. So let's spend the night together.
More than ever.
A year ago at this time, the Greenan Knights were in Class AAA, but they dropped to AA this year. The AA classification covers schools that have 160 to 326 boys. They have exactly 326. So they dropped 1 category from AAA to AA, and now at 27-0, they're fighting to boost that record to 28 and zip and battling for the Class AA championship.
Greenan did very well as a AAA school last year. They were, what, 20-3?
20-3 a year ago.
And they made it to the sectional final last year, but in AA, they have just been dominating.
Faulkner in 2 years is 47-3. That's not too shabby.
Jeff Raber, a new man in the ballgame for the Greenan Knights, playing for Steve Smith. Now they post up with Ricketts. He misses. McCracken with a stick back. Troy McCracken with 3 field goals.
McCracken 6 points on the night.
So after the timeout, now the steal on the press. Jeff Raber. What an acrobatic shot by Raber. Jeff Raber just off the bench.
Hello, Larry Bird.
And now another turnover forced by that full court pressure. Was it a 5-second count?
It was. There's Lyle Faulkner.
Talk about a team responding to coaching during a timeout. Boy, Greenan has really come alive with 2 straight baskets. Here's Ricketts with those head fakes. Puts one up off the back rim. And Steen with a rebound. Out to Yarber. Dion Yarber. Down the floor, right to the hole. They're going to call a charge on Yarber.
Yarber picks up his first personal foul, and he took it coast to coast, and he had that look that he was going to go all the way. Here it comes. And watch the charge. The man is set defensively and draws the foul.
27-26, Oberlin by 1. They had been up by 5.
Greenan can take the lead if they score it here.
Jeff Raber on the wing for Smith. Phil Scott from the top of the circle, missing the shot. And the stick back good by Ricketts.
10 points for Ricketts, and Greenan goes back on top, 28-27.
Really a smaller, quicker lineup here for Greenan with 3 guards in the game. Here's Rodney Cannon going baseline, in and out. Steen right there with a stick back scoring. He is fouled on the play. Kevin Steen. Big, agile inside player, a 6'6" senior.
Fouled by Phil Scott. That's 5 points for Kevin Steen. There's the foul. Watch him go up right there.
Got him right on the head.
Got them right down with that arm.
29-28, Oberlin by a point. 5:11 to go. Second quarter, the AA championship from Dayton. Steen, good foul shooter. He converts on the 3-point play.
He's 2 out of 3 at the foul line now and has a total of 6 points.
Here's Graber, who's taken over at the point guard. Off for Ricketts. He's a bomber, and he hits it again. Scott Ricketts, tremendous player.
12 points for Ricketts.
He'll go inside. He'll hit that outside jumper. You don't know how to defend a guy like that. Rodney Cannon now. The beefy point guard gets it off to Shepard, and a neat turnaround. Jump shot canned by the sophomore.
It's hard to believe that Shepard, the way he handles himself, is only a sophomore.
Here's Raber down the floor. That pass kicked out. It'll be Greenan ball again. 32-30, Oberlin by a basket over the Greenan Knights.
There are 2 brother combinations and a cousin combination on that Oberlin team.
A family affair. Steve Smith in the corner. Smith will shoot from the outside. It skips off the rim. Cannon with a rebound. Rodney Cannon, an honorable mention All-State player. Yarber now with the ball on the outside. Gets it to Shepard. 6'4" sophomore. Gives it to Danny Jones. Jones puts it on the floor. He'll pull up. Off-balance shot, but he hits it.
6 points for Danny Jones, who, again, does not show any ill effect from that injury he suffered last night.
Really balanced scoring for Oberlin. Anybody can hurt you at any time. Man-to-man defense as Oberlin picks up the tempo. Here's Smith moving inside. His pass deflected. Phil Scott chases it down. Out top for Ricketts. Ricketts taken man-to-man by the sophomore Tim Shepard. Phil Scott with a basketball. Out top for Yarber. I should say now on the wing. Ricketts will shoot again. He'll miss this one. There's the big guy, McCracken. Oh, McCracken working hard on the boards, and he comes up limping, favoring that very tender right ankle.
McCracken scored, and he was also fouled on the play. Fouled by Tim Shepard. There was Tim Shepard, number 42, commits the foul.
Here's Ray Ellington in the ball game for the first time. Excellent perimeter shooter. He's a junior at 6 feet in the game for Oberlin.
Ellington had 14 points in last night's game in the semifinal against Youngstown Ran. And here's McCracken, number 44.
Trying to complete the 3-point play, and this time off the back rim won't go. Steen off with a rebound. Down the floor, Oberlin. Rodney Cannon missing, and the rebound to Ricketts. 34-32, Oberlin by a basket with 3:15 remaining. Second quarter. There's that head fake. Put up and short by Ricketts. Oberlin out with the basketball. Breaking down the side. Shepard stepped on the baseline, out of bounds.
That 41 points by both teams in the first quarter is a record for a boys AA championship game. The old record was 39. Cleveland Cathedral Latin 22, Mifflin 17. That back in 1977. So it's been a record-setting performance.
We told you it would be hectic. We didn't know it'd be that hectic. Raber with a shot, missing it. Rebound, though. Ricketts keeps it alive. That head fake off the glass. Ricketts pulling shots out of nowhere.
14 points for Ricketts, the complete ball player.
Here is Steen busting in from the wing. Kevin Steen has his third field goal. 8 points for him.
How long can they keep up this tempo, Andy?
Boy, it's been hectic, to say the least. 36-34. Oberlin by a basket. 2:30 to play in the first half. Here is Ricketts again, adjusting his shot, missing this time. And Raber in traffic. Another scoop layoff.
Those are two off-balance shots that Raber has made and has converted both of them.
He didn't score in the semifinals. Looked like he was strictly a ball handler, but tonight he's gone to the hole a couple times.
Score tied at 36.
Yarber out to Cannon. They swing it now to Shepard. Here's Steen driving, and he travels as he tried to move toward the basket. Phil Payne in the ball game for the first time for Oberlin, and Jim Thompson, number 32, returns for Greenan. Now Danny Jones coming in also for the Oberlin Indians, tied at 36. Greenan had an early on 5-point lead, then Oberlin went up by 5. Now we're tied again. Here's Raber, good ball handler, off for Thompson on the right wing. Looking low for McCracken, power move off the glass, and Troy McCracken now has 10.
Great move by McCracken that time.
Look at Oberlin push it up the floor. Rodney Cannon. Danny Jones, he ties it again.
Danny Jones with 8 points, and it's a tie game at 38.
Boy, the college scouts didn't know about Danny Jones until the Toledo Regional, and he really shined in those 2 victories for Oberlin in the regional. McCracken gets too deep, out for Raber. He'll shoot and hit. Raber with 3 field goals.
Given an assist to McCracken, he had the ball on the baseline and saw Raber open with about a 12-footer.
McCracken can really pass the basketball, as he showed there. Ellington in the corner. Down to 1:10 to play in the first half. Danny Jones moving toward the bucket, and he'll be fouled, I believe. Let's see who's tagged with it. It's 40-38, Greenan by 2, with 1:07 to play.
Foul was against Jim Thompson, his second.
Danny Jones cutting to the middle.
There's Thompson, number 32. Got him with the body.
Both teams in the bonus. So Danny Jones will shoot the 1-1. New man in the ball game, Tad Cannon, his first appearance for the Oberlin Indians.
That's Rodney Cannon's brother.
There are 2 Cannons on this team. There are 2 Yarbers for Oberlin. They are cousins.
And 2 Paynes.
The Paynes are brothers. Danny Jones at the line.
As you said, it is a family affair.
And he gets the front end. Jones has had a strong first half.
9 points up to this point.
He can tie it again. We've had a whole bucket full of ties in this game. Makes it the hard way. 10 for Danny Jones. 40-40 the score. Phil Scott over the timeline for Farley just in the game. Tony Farley played very well last night in the semifinals. Nice pass for McCracken. Won't go. Raber over the back to get the foul, and that'll put Oberlin at the line.
Jeff Raber picks up his first personal, and the bonus is now in effect for Oberlin. Oberlin will go to the line, shooting the 1-1. Here's the shot by McCracken. Falls short. Raber will come over the back, number 12, right there, going after the ball. Comes across the arm of Danny Jones. And it stops the clock with 53 seconds to go in the first half.
Jeff Raber's really done a job off the bench. Came in at the point guard, scored 3 field goals, handled the ball well. Danny Jones, who just hit the 1-1 a minute ago, gets the front end. Good foul shooting team is this Oberlin team. They shot 76% from the line last night in their win over Youngstown Rayen. And tonight they've only missed 1 time from the line. Jones gets them both. That puts Oberlin ahead again, 42-40 with under a minute to go in the first half. Phil Scott up against pressure. What a spin dribble there. The ball lost, though, and picked off by Phil Payne. Drops it off for Rodney Cannon. Won't go. Underneath Phil Payne with a stick back. Boy, this Oberlin depth is really coming to play now. Late in the second quarter, they've gone 4 deep on their bench. And they've all played well. Here's Raber. 44-40. Oberlin has opened up a 4-point lead. McCracken puts it on the floor. Out top for Brian Miller. In deep. McCracken. They're going to wash out the basket, though. They're going to call a charge on Troy McCracken as he laid the ball in. Second foul on McCracken. Let's look at it again. Here's the entry pass, and good position by Oberlin down low. Tad Cannon, with his arms in the air, didn't move, had position. Second foul now on Troy McCracken. Steve Smith back in the game for the Green and Knights. 11 seconds to go. Cannon down the floor. Off for Danny Jones. Penetrating, popping up, hitting. Danny Jones now down the floor with time ticking off. Steve Smith runs right over the baseline. So a big surge for Oberlin in the final minute of play. They score 8 points in a row. Danny Jones is the big trigger man. He got 6 of those. 4 foul shots in that final basket. And Oberlin has their largest lead at 46-40 after 2 quarters of basketball. Jimmy Crum courtside. He'll be talking with Bob Walsh, the coach of the Oberlin Indians, in just a moment. But terrific half of basketball in this AA final game. Let's go to Jimmy Crum. Andy McWilliams and Jimmy Crum with you from the University of Dayton Arena, the AA championship. A hectic, fast-paced, high-scoring first half. 46-40, Oberlin over Greenan. They changed leads numerous times, and at one point, Greenan had a 5-point lead. Then Oberlin forged ahead. They tied it up, and now Oberlin had a great run in the final minute, scoring 8 straight to overcome a 2-point lead, and now they're up by 6 at the half. Let's take a look at the first half statistics, and there are going to be some interesting shooting numbers. First of all, the scoring leader, Scott Ricketts, again having a super game for Greenan. He had 21 last night and 14 so far tonight, Jimmy.
8 in the first quarter and 6 in the second quarter for 14 points. Jim Thompson has 4. Troy McCracken has 10 points, but he has those 2 personal fouls. And remember, he is playing with that bad ankle, but so far he has not shown too much ill effect. Steve Smith was 6, and Jeff Raber also with 6 points.
Let's take a look at the scoring for Oberlin, and very balanced again.
You can't find much more balance than that. Jones with 14, Cannon with 8, Shepard with 8, Steen with 8, Yarber with 6, and that is reflected in the score that we have here at halftime. Balanced scoring, good offense and defense, and it's a 46-40 ball game.
Okay, 46-40 the score after 2 quarters of basketball for the AA championship, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Dave Arbogast, General Manager of Paul Sherry Chevrolet Chrysler, the Midwest factory outlet for van conversions. What's factory outlet mean to you? It means price and selection. We have direct franchise agreements with all the major conversion companies in the country, and by cutting out the middlemen, that means we can save you money. Selection, we have a 300-van outdoor lot, and for your year-round shopping convenience, a 30-van indoor showroom. So come to where you do have price and selection. Paul Sherry Chevrolet Chrysler, the Midwest factory outlet for van conversions.
Paul Sherry Chevrolet. We try harder.
Jump!
What's that say?
We guarantee the lowest price. If you find the same thing for less within 30 days, we'll refund the difference, plus 10%.
That's ancient history.
Look, now we refund the difference, plus 25%. That's incredible.
Oh, now everybody'll know.
It's not a secret anymore.
Been told before the ball game that this was going to be a complete sellout tonight of 13,260, but the official attendance has just been announced of 12,595. Some of those Greenan fans may have stayed home to watch the game on television or something of that sort.
Well, I really don't blame them considering who's doing the game, Jimmy, but let's take a look at the first half stats.
For the first half, Greenan hitting 19 of 37, Oberlin 20 of 33. Oberlin 61%, Greenan 51%. Free throws 2 for 3 for Greenan, 6 for 7 for Oberlin. Rebounds 14, Greenan 19 for Oberlin. And Oberlin has turned over the ball 8 times to 7.
Oberlin really did a good job on the boards down the stretch. They got their fast break running, and they had that 8-point run. Oberlin with the first possession. They're up by 6. This is Shepard in the corner, out top to Rodney Cannon. Here's Yarber with a shot, missing that one. And the rebound coming off to Scott Ricketts. He'll go the length of the floor. Short hop there by Jim Thompson. Thompson behind the basket, skips off the rim on him. And Shepard starts out fancy dribbling for the sophomore. Well, he can really handle the ball.
He does. For a sophomore, he is very, very impressive.
Kevin Steen with the basketball. He'll feed it to Danny Jones. Here's Yarber. Yarber missing the layup, but Steen is there with a stick back. Give him 10.
10 points for Steen, and it's a 48-40 ball game.
2 Oberlin Indians already in double figures. 8-point lead, the longest lead of the game for the Oberlin Indians. Troy McCracken, baseline right, hits it.
That's 12 points for McCracken.
He averages 18 points and 13 rebounds. Troy McCracken is second-team All-Stater in Double-A. Oberlin cracking the press with ease. That's the key to beating Greenan, cracking that press. Yarber, dead corner. Dion Yarber.
With 8 points now. That was deep in the corner. You couldn't get any deeper baseline than that.
Good mix of inside and outside scoring for the Oberlin Indians. Phil Scott did not score in the first half, number 22. Got to get him involved in the offense. Here's McCracken. Steen cutting him off. Ricketts is open, missing the bank shot. Danny Jones coming out. Very few second shots for this Greenan team. We got a foul call here. Danny Jones went to the floor hard. Phil Scott ran into him. Let's see who'll get the foul. Probably going to be Scott.
I think it's going to be against Phil Scott. Phil Scott picks up the personal, his second. There it is, as he came down over the top of his counterpart, number 22, Danny Jones.
Jim Thompson out of the ball game. And Tony Farley in the game for more rebounding, more strength on the front line. Baseline left, it is Kevin Steen hitting that jumper.
12 points for Steen. He averages only 10 points a game, so he's 2 points over his average right now.
10-point lead for Oberlin. In low it goes to Ricketts, that characteristic head fake, and up and in over Steen. Ricketts with 16. When in doubt, go to Ricketts, and he'll get you a basket if you're Greenan. Yarber almost lost the ball. They get it low nicely, though, to Shepard. Shepard with the bucket, the sophomore.
Some great ball handling by the Oberlin Indians.
10 for Shepard. Bad shot by Ricketts. He forced that one. He seldom does that. Here's Cannon now. He'll dribble up the length of the floor to the foul line. Rodney Cannon off the rim. No, Shepard fell hard to the floor. He's down. He's hurt. Steve Smith taking it back the other way. Kicked the ball, and they're going to call a turnover.
Shepard is asking to be taken out of the ball game at the other end. He came down, and he has sprained an ankle.
He landed hard, fell over one of his own teammates, and went whack to the floor. 54-44, Oberlin by 10.
Phil Payne will come in his place. Here's the pile-up and under the basket.
Oh.
Ooh.
Fell over McCracken.
Back to live action.
Oberlin has added to their lead of 6 at the half. It's now 10. The Indians with the ball. Yarber from way outside, rimming the hoop this time, and a foul on Farley over the back, as Oberlin's getting excellent position at both ends of the floor on the boards. Farley had a very strong semifinal game, 10 points and 9 rebounds off the bench. Timeout on the floor in this Double-A final, and now this from John Deere on your local John Deere dealer.
Hey, oh, buddy, my mower broke down. Mind if I borrow yours?
Sure. Old buddy.
Why is it that the grass is always greener wherever there's a John Deere lawnmower?
Oh, you weren't around, so I helped myself.
Because you can always depend on a John Deere lawnmower to keep running when others don't. It's got adjustable speed drive, a blade brake clutch, and a 2 or 4 cycle engine.
Don't tell me. Your lawnmower's not working.
I don't even own one.
Nothing runs like a Deere.
My master has the latest of everything. There's his snapper pack and sack, most advanced grass catcher on earth. Comes only on high vac, holds 1/3 more clippings, even tells you when it's full. Easy to empty, slides like a drawer, bags grass right in machine. Master loves his snapper pack and sack. I think I'm a little jealous.
Get a snapper today with Snap Credit.
Buy a snapper today and receive the pack and sack attachment for 1/2 the retail price.
Inbounding to Rodney Cannon. Oberlin with a basketball and a 10-point lead. Cannon working the point and moving that ball very well in the right corner. Phil Payne's shot won't go. Out of bounds it goes off Tony Farley of Greenan.
Here in the second half, Oberlin has put the ball in the air now 9 times, has hit 4 for just under 50%. Greenan 2 of 5 for 40%.
Cannon out top again. Danny Jones. Jones with his own rebound. He goes over the top, and Jones will get the foul.
Danny Jones picking up his second personal foul, skying for that rebound, but going over the back of one of the Greenan players. Watch it here. Watch the rebound come out high. He goes up and gets number 22, Phil Scott.
Had the right idea, though. He followed his shot very nicely. Little full court pressure thrown on by Oberlin. Here's Ricketts against Dion Yarborough. Yarber, I should say, off for Steve Scott. Outside, there's the bomb by Ricketts. 18 points for Scott Ricketts.
Some kind of a ball player.
Yarber now driving baseline against Farley. Gives it in the corner for Steen, and McCracken went out to block the shot. But he also got a bit of body. That's the third foul on Troy McCracken.
Jim Thompson is coming back in for the Greenan Knights.
Farley will take his seat.
Here's number 44 at the right of your screen. Watch him go up, and he almost just got nothing but the ball, but he got a piece of the arm as well.
Steen will go to the line. He's scored 12. He's 2 for 3 in foul shots. Tony Farley takes a drink next to Lyle Faulkner, the Double-A Coach of the Year in Ohio. Steen at the line.
13 points now for Kevin Steen.
Steen had 11 points and 7 rebounds in the semifinal victory over Youngstown Rand. Missed the second foul shot. Steve Smith with a rebound. Smith scored 6 in the first half. They lob it to McCracken. Turnaround move off the back rim. Jim Thompson. He is fouled over the back by Phil Payne. Thompson got the inside position.
Take a look at it again. Number 34, Phil Payne, picked up his first personal foul. Bob Walsh of Oberlin.
He has that towel clutched tightly as he does throughout the entire ball game, like Jerry Tarkanian of UNLV. And now they get it into McCracken, and Troy McCracken scores on a good turnaround move.
55-48, 7-point difference. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yarber with the basketball in the corner for Steen of Oberlin. Now a steal. Here's Steve Smith down the floor. Smith will pull up from 16 feet, and bang! It's a 5-point lead now. Steve Smith, his 4th field goal. And Greenan has cut that lead in half from 10 to 5. Yarber with the ball. Now they try to go low, deflected, and Steve Smith comes up with it. Outletting for Phil Scott. Scott with the basketball, 55-50 the score.
The Knights could cut it to 3 by scoring here.
McCracken, short on the shot. Rebound pulled off by Rodney Cannon. Cannon to the Indians. Quickly up the floor for Phil Payne, out top to Yarber. Now they swing it the other side. Danny Jones rimming the hoop. Tipped up and in. Either Payne or Jones got his own follow and put it in. Danny Jones.
16 points for Jones.
Jim Thompson has his shot blocked. And Oberlin on the run. Phil Payne. Loose ball run down by Ricketts. They got a break if they hurry here. Ricketts up the floor, and he palmed it. He heard footsteps from behind and turned it over.
Clock stopped with 2:41 remaining, third quarter. Oberlin 57, Greenan 50. A 7-point ball game. At one point, just moments ago, it was 10. Then they cut it to 5. Now it's back up to 7. Substitute coming in for Greenan, number 12. Jeff Raber coming back in.
Raber had a very good first half, scored 6 off the bench. Bob Walsh intently looking on. Now he's going to send in a substitute. Ray Ellington is up off the bench. Rodney Cannon has been handling this pressure by himself with some great dribbling. Cannon with the ball, and he coughs it up this time to Raber. Outletting for Jim Thompson. Thompson with a scoop layup. Comes off to Oberlin. Right in front of us, Kevin Steen saves it. Steen across for Danny Jones. Pull up from 15. Raber with a rebound.
This is the racehorse style now we saw in the first half. It's picked up again in tempo.
Here's Raber, way downtown, missed it. Rebound to Ricketts. Out to Raber again. He'll shoot and pull up way short on it. And Steve Smith kept it in.
Great save.
Boy, Raber got caught up a bit in the excitement. Now again he shoots. And he misses for the third time.
3 shots in a row.
Raber misfiring 3 times on that one possession. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 57-50, Oberlin over Greenan in the AA championship game. High arcing shot by Payne won't go down. Dion Yarber with the offensive board. That won't fall. Battle on the board, and they're going to call a foul. It's going to be on Phil Payne. His second.
Watch it here again on replay. The foul will be against Payne.
Oberlin foul number 34, Payne.
Ellington checks in the ball game at a guard spot for the Oberlin Indians.
Second personal on Phil Payne.
Greenan with the ball. Jeff Raber down the floor, taking a deep breath, beating Rodney Cannon and circling the wagons. He gives it to Jim Thompson.
Neither team into the bonus situation here in the third quarter.
Steve Smith has his shot blocked, but he recovered against Ellington. Smith will try it again. He'll shoot again. He'll miss again. This time Ellington gets the rebound.
Greenan forcing some shots now as the pressure is applied.
They're playing a little bit out of control, which is uncharacteristic for Greenan. Taking some bad shots and really feeling the pressure. Phil Payne for Oberlin. Here's Yarber from the lane, won't go. Ricketts with a rebound.
Ricketts, rather than looking for a quick let-out pass, decides to slow it down. They didn't want to play out of control any longer.
They need a good, solid possession here. McCracken, left side. Swish, he got it. Foul underneath. Going to go against Phil Payne. He was trying to get blockout position. This could turn into a 4-point play. As McCracken hit the field goal, and now Greenan will get the ball back.
Number 42, Shepard, who was injured slightly a little bit ago, comes back in for Payne. There you see him, number 42. Tim Shepard, only a sophomore, but very impressive. Phil Payne has picked up his third personal.
Common foul on that blockout by Phil Payne, so the field goal will count for McCracken, and Greenan will get the ball back.
Tad Cannon, number 50, also comes in.
57-52, Oberlin, 5-5. Greenan just gets it in. Farley off the bench has the ball out for Raber. Raber faking, shooting, missing short. Tipped up and in. Jim Thompson got inside and scored on a beautiful tip play. And now a steal right off the bat by Greenan. Boy, Greenan is really getting back in the game in a hurry. They trail by 3. They were down by 10. Here's a power move. Score!
It's good, and he's fouled.
Scott Ricketts with 20 points, and he'll go to the line to tie the game.
Watch it again. Greenan with a 27-game winning streak. Ricketts in with an almost impossible shot and fouled. Foul was against Rodney Cannon, and that is his second.
Steve Smith back in the game for the Greenan Knights, who have made a stirring comeback. They were down by 10. Now McCracken will take a rest for the final 13 seconds of the third quarter. He has that sore ankle. He also has 3 fouls.
Ricketts goes to the line with 20 points. His 21st point could tie it up at 57.
This guy can do anything in this tournament. He had 21 last night. Tremendous overall effort. Now he can tie it, and he misses the foul shot. Steve Smith right there, though, in the corner now for Jim Thompson, scooping it. Here's a clutch. Ricketts missed the shot, and Cannon comes off with a basketball. In the corner, Ellington at the buzzer threw up an air ball. This game just gets better and better as we go along. 3 quarters have been completed in the AA championship. It is Oberlin 57, Greenan 56, and now this for DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
Oberlin 6 16-11 in that third quarter as Greenan hit 8 of 22 from the field, 36%. Oberlin only 5 of 8, or 5 of 18 rather, for 27%.
Jeff Raber with the ball for the Greenan Knights. They trail by 1. Steve Smith left open from 15, and bang, he's got it. Oberlin, I should say Greenan, takes the lead, 58-57.
Steve Smith now with 10 points for the night.
Steen from 15 feet. Jim Thompson with a rebound for Greenan. Greenan trying to go undefeated and win the state title.
Great comeback in that third quarter by Greenan after trailing by as many by 10.
They were down 54-44 with 5:07 left in the third quarter. Skip pass inside. Rodney Cannon off with it, fouled by Jeff Raber.
Second personal on Raber.
In this ball game, 11 ties and 9 lead changes. Talk about tight. There's the contact as Raber reaches in.
This is really the kind of a game, Andy, you look for, I think, in a championship game.
Both teams are in the bonus now down the stretch. 7 minutes to play. Steen in the corner for Oberlin. Now they go inside the turnaround. Shepard hits it. Shepard from Rodney Cannon.
10 points for Shepard.
59-58. That's our 10th lead change. We've had 11 ties. Oberlin by 1 now. On the weave, Raber from the outside misses it. McCracken with a tip, no. Outletting for Yarber. Cross court for Rodney Cannon. Cannon pulls up, misses. Steve Smith up above the rim for the rebound. Smith down the floor. In the corner, Jim Thompson fouled underneath. That's going to put Oberlin at the foul line.
It was against McCracken. That is his fourth.
And that is bad news for the Greenan Knights. 4 fouls early in the fourth quarter on Troy McCracken.
Picks up that fourth foul with 6:32.
Dion Yarber at the line. First time that he shot from the line in this game. And he makes the front end.
That's 9 points for Dion Yarber. He has a 12-point average coming in. Had 10 points last night against Rayen. McCracken now leaves the floor. As you look at Bob Walsh, the head coach of the Oberlin Indians.
Farley comes in to replace him, so obviously Greenan will go with a much smaller lineup now with 6'9½". Troy McCracken on the bench with 4 fouls. Yarber's second free throw, yes. Yarber now with 10 and a 3-point lead for Oberlin. They're on a 4-point run. They lead 61-58. Phil Scott recovering after his pass was blocked. That 10-second count almost upon us, and just over the timeline is Scott Ricketts. Phil Scott with the ball taken by Yarber. Left-hand dribble off to Thompson. They post up for Ricketts from behind the basket.
Oh.
Scott Ricketts does it again.
22 points. The height advantage really belongs to Oberlin now with McCracken out of there.
And let's see if they take advantage and pound it inside to Steen and Shepard. Danny Jones outside. He'll take it baseline. Now they get it into Steen. Put it back outside, and Shepard couldn't hold on. 61-60, Oberlin by a point with 5:46 to play in regulation. I say regulation because the way these guys are playing nip and tuck overtime, a distinct possibility in this game.
5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this one.
Scott Ricketts. Thompson on the wing. Phil Scott now. Yarber blocks it. And that one goes right into the scorer's table.
Boy, when you talk about rejection, that's rejection of the first order.
Phil Scott had a good semifinal, but he's had trouble with the defensive matchups here against the bigger Oberlin guards in this game.
That's true.
This time, Rodney Cannon will take him man-on-man. Farley now. Steve Smith will pop up, shoot and hit it. Oh, line drive shot by Steve Scott.
Hardly any arch at all to that shot by Steve Smith. Greenan by 1.
That's 12 for him. Here's Rodney Cannon, a high arc on that one. And Cannon puts it down. He scored 10.
Oberlin by 1. Back and forth, back and forth.
63-62. Greenan with the ball, trying to go ahead. Farley driving baseline, sliding through, missing, and fouled on the way to the hoop. Shepard got him. Farley will go to the line.
Second personal against Tim Shepard. Take a look at it again. Here's Farley, number 34. He goes for the baseline. Gets by number 44, but then is picked up by...
There's a break in this hectic action in the Double-A final from Dayton. Oberlin by a point, 63-62 over Greenan. And we'll be back in just a minute.
Banded or in furrow, you can depend on Counter for the best possible protection against the complex of pests that can attack your corn crop. And for the most accurate placement of your insecticide, put it where it works the hardest, in the seed furrow. Only Counter in furrow at a single application rate controls major corn pests, including rootworm. Counter banded or Counter in furrow. Your two best options for maximum performance. Guaranteed.
Roses for Fifth Avenues. At Salem Chrysler Plymouth, we have Ohio's largest selection of Chrysler Fifth Avenue. Right now, you can finance your Fifth Avenue at 9.9 annual percentage rate fixed. See for yourself why I say roses are for Fifth Avenues. Salem Chrysler Plymouth, 5010 Salem, open all Sundays where Mel Zappia cares.
As I mentioned earlier, this is the kind of a ball game you expect in a championship game, a close, well-played game. Our two earlier games today were rather lopsided. For the Class AAA title, it was Akron Central Howard 70, Columbus South 44. And for the A title, Columbus Worley 72, Dayton Jefferson 58.
Farley missing the first free throw. He has not scored in this game, had an excellent semifinal off the bench. 10 points and 9 rebounds in 17 minutes.
Greenan hitting 37, almost 38%. Oberlin 31%.
Farley ties it at 63. Yarber running the baseline on the inbounds for Rodney Cannon. Cannon double teamed in the backcourt. Deflected pass and Yarber comes off with it. Dion Yarber pulling up. Missing the stick back by Steen, and it will count, and he is fouled on the play by Steve Smith.
Steen with 15 points, and Steve Smith.
Yarber's shot from the wing, and Steen is right there on the weak side.
Picks up his first personal. And 44, Kevin Steen.
There's the Oberlin bench. Coach Bob Walsh, who is here in 74 with Lorraine Clearview to win a Class A title. Trying to make it Double-A. Foul shot in and out. Steen fails to capitalize on the three-point play. 65-63, Oberlin by a basket. 4:30 to play. Phil Scott, they leave him open. He launches it and hits his first bucket. Steve Scott, Phil Scott, I should say.
High ball game at 65.
Phil Scott, his first basket here is Rodney Cannon taking it right to the lane.
Doesn't stay tied very long with the way these two teams are playing.
They can score in a hurry, both of these teams. Get it up and down the floor with the best of them. Phil Scott against pressure, double team, kicks it out to Steve Smith. 67-65, Oberlin on top by 2. Tony Farley now will launch one and hit it.
3 points for Farley, his first basket of the day, and gives another tie ball game at 67.
Down the floor, Rodney Cannon. They're going to call the foul on Phil Scott, reaching in on Cannon. Scott's third.
Third on Scott.
Troy McCracken just coming back into the ball game now. He sat for what? A little under 3 minutes with the 4 fouls.
Right. And Raver comes back in. Jeff Raver, number 12, comes in for the Greenan Knights.
Tied at 67, Rodney Cannon goes to the line. He has scored 12, his first foul shot to the ball game. Oberlin, a pretty good foul shooting team. Look at that high arc, and he hits it. Cannon.
You'll notice that all of the Oberlin Indians put up that high arching shot when they shoot from the free throw line.
Second try, in and out. McCracken with a rebound. 1-point lead for Oberlin, 3:40 to go. 68-67, the Indians over the Knights. Steve Smith, foul line, dumps it in the corner. Raber quickly in for McCracken. Steve Smith backs up the play nicely as Oberlin is packing in his own. Now, dead corner jumper won't fall for Farley. Rodney Cannon racing down the floor. Gives it for Danny Jones. Jones on the move. Man-to-man defense employed by Greenan. That's their bread and butter. Now Yarber will pop up. Kicks out. And the rebound comes off to Steve Smith. McCracken was there too. They fought each other for the ball. Teammates.
Hey, I'm on your team. Let me, don't fight me.
Under 3 to play. Oberlin 68, Greenan 67. Greenan with the basketball. Greenan has fought back a number of times. They were down 10 midway through the third quarter. Came back to take the lead briefly. Here's Jeff Yarber now off a pick. And it's fouled by Rodney Cannon as he took it low.
Third foul on Cannon.
Both teams are in the 1-1.
Clock is stopped with 2 minutes and 38 seconds to go as we take a look at the replay. There's where Cannon reached in and got not the ball, but got a piece of the action.
Well officiated ball game considering the pace of this one. The two officials have kept up with the action and they've let them play. Bob Walsh looking on.
Tom Gruber and David Nash, the officials, doing a good job. This is a tough ball game to officiate.
Here's Raber at the line, off the back rim. Raber gets his own rebound. Good hustle. Farley now. McCracken with the offensive board. Greenan had 3 shots at it there, but could not score.
Second time tonight that they've had 3 cracks at it and could not make them.
68-67, Oberlin with the ball in a 1-point lead. Steen with a turnaround. Shepard right there. Still won't go down. The ball on the floor now, and a foul called in that mess under the bucket. It's going to be on Jeff Raber. Is it on Raber? I believe so. Raber's third. So the foul shooting obviously critical down the stretch, and Oberlin shot their fouls so well in their victory over the defending state AA champion Youngstown Rayan last night.
McCracken has 4 fouls. Phil Scott has 3. Raber has 3. The only person with 3 personal fouls for Oberlin is Rodney Cannon.
Jim Thompson back in. Tony Farley sits down. 2:11 to play in regulation. 68-67. Oberlin by 1 over Greenan in the AA championship game. Shepard at the line. There's that high arc, and he hits it.
That's 11 points now for Tim Shepard. Just under his average of 14.
6'4" sophomore. Misses the second try. Ricketts with a rebound. Yarber dogging his tracks. And Ricketts can really handle that ball. Plus shoot it. McCracken baseline left.
McCracken, remember, playing with 4 personal fouls. Throws it away.
They tried the lob inside quickly to McCracken, and somebody zigged when he should have zagged, and out of bounds it goes. 69-67, Oberlin by 2 with the ball. 1:54 to play. Danny Jones, who had the good first half, down the floor. Kicking it out in the corner. In and out for Steen. Jones with a tip try. Won't go. Jones dribbles out with the ball, though. Oberlin keeps possession. Rodney Cannon, the big point guard. Greenan playing man-to-man. They get it down to Shepard. That won't go. McCracken mistimed his jump on that rebound. Off to Yarber. He'll launch one and miss it badly. Ricketts up with the ball.
I could see us facing the possibility of an overtime.
We're on an even point differential, 69-67 Oberlin. 1:10 to go. They lob it inside, and for the second straight possession, they throw it away.
Number 22, Phil Scott, is going to check back in for the Greenan Knights, and he'll replace Jeff Raber.
They go with a quicker, smaller lineup now on the defensive end, as they'll go full court pressure here.
1 minute and 7 seconds, 67 seconds left in the ball game. Oberlin with a 2-point lead.
They're trying to trap Rodney Cannon. They get it out to Steen. He'll put it on the floor. Oberlin now, maybe they're going to try to run some time off the clock. No, they go right inside, and Shepard missed the turnaround. McCracken with a rebound. Ahead for Ricketts. Ricketts is open from the wing. Shoots and hits it. Nothing but net for Ricketts. Quickly down the floor, Oberlin. It's tied at 69. 35 seconds left. Danny Jones. Rodney Cannon wide open. That won't go. Here is Shepard. His shot is blocked. They're going to call a foul, though. On Thompson. Will that be before the shot, or will the basket count? Let's watch the official. Two-shot foul.
Green foul number 32, Thompson.
69, 29 seconds to go, and at the line will be the sophomore Tim Shepard, who just missed the front end of a 1-and-1.
Jim Thompson with his third personal foul, and there's going to be a timeout on the floor.
There's a break in the action. We're tied at 69 in the AA championship, and now this for John Deere.
No school spectators will be allowed on the floor.
It's that time of year again, deer season. Just as the grass is getting higher, prices are getting lower on John Deere tractors, lawnmowers, tillers, chainsaws. In fact, all kinds of lawn and garden products are on sale at the lowest prices of the year. So hurry to your participating John Deere dealer. After all, you won't look so good if deer season passes you by. Nothing runs like a deer.
Morris Furniture Mart is Dayton's largest famous maker, furniture, and appliance showplace. And during our giant in-store warehouse sale, there are great savings on our complete selection of dependable Maytag washers, dryers, ranges, and dishwashers. Superb quality and workmanship gives Maytag from Morris Furniture Mart the trouble-free performance you want in your home. Save now during our giant in-store warehouse sale with great savings on famous Maytag quality at Morris Furniture Mart, 2121 Harshman Road, 1/2 mile north of Route 4.
The score shows that you couldn't find two teams more evenly matched. Oberlin coming into the ball game with 23 straight victories, losing only once this year in the fourth game of the year to Wellington, 66-62. Greenan comes in with a 27-game winning streak, undefeated in 27 games, and it's tied at 69.
Tim Shepard at the line, the sophomore. First free throw is good. Shepard under pressure puts Oberlin ahead 70-69. He'll shoot again. Got them both. Ricketts gets an inbound. Ricketts up the sidelines, takes it to the lane, fakes, shoots, fouled in the act. Steen will be tagged with a personal. Boy, Scott Ricketts had one thing on his mind, to get down the floor in a hurry and launch one.
Clock was stopped at the other end with 29 seconds to go. That took only 6 seconds because it's now stopped with 23. And Ricketts will go to the line shooting two.
Ricketts penetrating. There's that head fake of his, drawing the foul nicely. There is a timeout on the floor with 23 seconds to play. Oberlin leading 71-69. Now this for DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
Farming is a tough way to make a living. Most farmers are in a struggle just to survive. I know I sure am. So when I come asking you to plant DeKalb Pfizer genetic seed, you better believe it'll be the same seed that's done the job on my own farm. It's my job to know what kind of seed you need. Not because I'm a seed dealer, because I'm a farmer, like you. Who's in the struggle with you? I am.
Ardan Catalog showrooms continue the biggest sale in their 100-year history, the Ardan Inventory Liquidation Sale. Now save even more, 30 to 65% off. Everything for your home and family. Quality name brands make this a shopper's dream. All prices have been further slashed. Many items below wholesale. Make your best buy now while there's still time. Good selection is still available. Ardan's Inventory Liquidation Sale, 30 to 65% off now.
Jimmy Crum along with Andy McWilliams at the University of Dayton Arena. Oberlin leading 71-69, but Scott Ricketts on the charity stripe with 2 free throws. He could tie this one up with 23 seconds left.
First one good for Ricketts. 25 points for Scott Ricketts. 71-70. This one would tie it for Greenan. 23 seconds remaining in regulation. 15 ties and 13 lead changes in this ball game. Second one, no, won't go down. Rebound off to Danny Jones. Gives it to Steen. Steen pulls up at the foul line. Out for Rodney Cannon now, and he'll be fouled on his way to the basket with 14 seconds to go.
Foul, I think, is against Ricketts.
Greenan foul number 42, Ricketts.
It is against Scott Ricketts, his second personal. He has 25 points, and it will send Cannon to the line.
Rodney Cannon at the line.
Cannon with 13 points. Oberlin with a 1-point lead. Greenan trying to extend its winning streak to 28 straight, but right now looking danger in the eye.
Cannon with that high arc on the free throw. Nothing but net there to give Oberlin a 2-point lead at 72-70. 14 seconds to go, and this one will make it difficult if Cannon hits it for Greenan to get back into it. Not impossible, but more difficult. Free throw on the way, and he makes it. Cannon with 2 pressure free throws. Now Greenan in a desperate situation. Quick timeout called by the Greenan Knights as they get it over the timeline. And 11 seconds left on the clock here.
That's all they wanted to do was get it across the timeline. That's why Steve Smith was making such a hurry to get up there. They didn't want to call the timeout in the backcourt. They wanted to get across the free throw line or across the center stripe and then call the timeout. That took 3 seconds, and it's now a 73-70 ball game. Oberlin leading Greenan. Greenan with that 27-game winning streak going. Oberlin has won 23 in a row since losing to Wellington in the 4th game of the season. This has been pressure-packed right from the very beginning. At the end of the first quarter, it was 21-20 in favor of the Oberlin Indians. Oberlin led 46-40 after 2 quarters. After 3, it was Oberlin 57-56. And right now, Oberlin has a 3-point lead with 11 seconds remaining on the clock.
It's been better foul shooting by Oberlin down the stretch that put them in command. They've hit 4 straight from the line in the final 29 seconds. Whereas Ricketts could make only 1 of 2 with 23 seconds left. Steve Smith will inbound. Smith will get it to Scott. They're going to go low to McCracken. Deflected pass. And Yarber has it in the backcourt. He's fouled by Ricketts. Well, the strategy was to try to get it to McCracken and hope that he could score and get fouled for the 3-point play.
That's right. Ricketts picks up his 3rd personal. And the Knights of Greenan, some very dejected-looking ball players right now as they look at that 27-game winning streak and an undefeated season going out the window. 6 seconds remaining as Dion Yarber, who is 2 for 2 at the free throw line, goes back to the line again for the Oberlin Indians.
6 seconds remaining, 73-70. Oberlin over Greenan. Dion Yarber has scored 10 points in the game, and he can really ice it.
McCracken is going out of the game. He has gone down and shaken hands with Bob Walsh and all of the Oberlin Indians.
Dion Yarber at the line for Oberlin. 1 and bonus.
Yarber taking a long time to launch it. He's got 10 seconds to get the free throw away. And he makes it.
Yarber 3 for 3 at the line, and Oberlin leading by 4 with 6 seconds to go. Bob Walsh, who led Lorraine Clearview to the Class A title in 1974, looking at his 2nd state title.
Oberlin had a tough region to come out of. They beat a perennial power in Willard in the regional semifinals, and then they came from 5 points behind in the final 2 minutes in the regional final to defeat Toledo Maycomber to get here to Columbus. Last night they knocked off the defending state champion Youngstown Rayon, and tonight it looks like they're about to end the longest winning streak in the state of Ohio.
The cheerleaders you saw moments ago were not from Greenan. Those were not cheers of despair. Those were cheers of happiness by the cheerleaders of the Oberlin Indians, knowing that they have a state title all but wrapped up with 6 seconds to go and a 4-point lead.
What a tremendous year for Greenon. 27-0. Their coach, Lyle Faulkner, in only his second year, Coach of the Year.
47-3 record, named the AA Coach of the Year this year. Got to be a lot of pride in the city of Enon tonight over a team that has represented the city, that has represented the state very well.
Here's Yarber with that second free throw. Only 6 seconds left, a 4-point lead, and he misses it. Quickly down the floor, Ricketts, they're going to let him go all the way to the hoop for the layup, which he misses at the buzzer. There they are, the Oberlin Indians, Class AA champs. There's Yarber, the man who hit the big free throw. Whoa!
They have on the front of their warm-up jerseys the Rim Wrecking Crew. And look at that. Really, Andy, in a situation like this, words are not necessary. The actions speak louder than words. Let's just take a look and listen.